Hello and howdy everyone, here to talk about the new Paul Greengrass film, Captain Phillips. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I have no problems giving it a 9. It's definitely a highlight of the year. Just another marvelous performance from Tom Hanks. It certainly ranks up there with the best of his work, easily. I also think it's Paul Greengrass's best film. I don't know, I was about to say by far. I don't know, maybe not like head and shoulders above the rest, but I definitely think it's his most focused piece of work yet. I think he's, talented. He's very talented, and really no one can do that docudrama, the real life event, dramatized quite like him. Honestly, after his United 93, which I don't think was his first film. It's the first time that I, took note of his name. But I really think that United 93 kind of started, this whole realistic, true story genre. Maybe not start, but it certainly was a defining example. And I think a defining example that still exists today and is still copied today. Many people try and shoot in that Paul Greengrass style, which is basically kind of a vibrating camera. I suppose that I see the works of Joe Carnahan, even though I don't think Joe Carnahan is at the same level of Paul Greengrass. But I also think that who did I just say? I just said his name. I think that wow, what is going on today? Anyway, I can see that those two director styles, I think that are aped by many who follow, and it's basically just like tight, close shots. The camera's kind of constantly vibrating. It kind of gives you this feeling of movement when there is none, and it definitely accentuates the type of stories that he tells. Joe Carnahan. I could see where maybe where Greengrass kind of adapted his style slightly. But I think Greengrass just makes better films. The movie is about, I can't remember the exact year, but the hijacking of the first American ship in something like 70 years, or maybe it was over 100 years. I can't remember the year, but again, I guess no one in their right mind would hijack a American cargo ship. But this tells the story from in 2009 when a group of Somali pirates did just that, and hijacked the ship and kidnapped the captain, in order to get money. There's not much I didn't love about the film. I'm giving it a 9. It's definitely one of the better movies I've seen this year. Tom Hanks's performance, all the acting is tremendous. Basically, Tom Hanks is the only name in it. There are a couple more recognizable faces. I thought they were people from other Paul Greengrass films, United 93. I recognize them, but, I don't know their names. We also have the introduction of some natural Somali actors. They got actors from Somalia to play the pirates, and actually to call them actors is not really fair. They just live their lives, and they just are portraying themselves kind of in this variation of themselves in this film. But they're all tremendous. The lead actor, the lead pirate, his character name is Muse, but I'm not sure. I wanted to say Abdeeb. He's, fantastic. To have a raw, untrained actor, go up against Tom Hanks, who is, a global brand, and that's one thing. I'm trying not to get too far off point, but that's one thing I love about Tom Hanks is, yes, he is a global brand. Yes, he is America's sweetheart, but he's also a tremendous artist. He's just he's one of the best. He's just one of the best actors we've got in the world right now. And so for a raw, untrained actor to go toe-to-toe with him, I think is quite an achievement. We may never see him again. I doubt that. And I'm talking about Abdeeb. He can retire a happy man now because he, again, went toe-to-toe with Hanks and held his own. But all of the acting here is tremendous. Feels very real. I think the Paul Greengrass style really kind of takes a back seat here. At least I didn't notice it as much as usual. His shaky camera thing that he's got going on. I really thought that he controlled himself in here. Again, I thought it was a more focused story, that he just wants to do the justice to this story and to the hero that it depicts. I guess like the only criticism I have, and I'm really just going to turn it into a compliment, because that's what I like more, is when I'm watching a film and something kind of bugs me, or I don't really care for something, but then the film kind of turns on that element and makes it the weakness a strength, and I think that's incredibly impressive, and that's what happened here. Is you kind of have, in a way, and this isn't, again, just a very broad statement, but you have 3 different chunks of film here, kind of, put together. I'm not going to say mashed together because they flow rather seamlessly, but you have getting to know the crew, getting to know the captain, separately. It's the first act is you get to know the pirates, you get to know, the Americans. And that's probably, again, I just love the film, but that's, again, probably my favorite, is the build-up, is getting to know everyone. And that's the spectacular part, is that in this first half of the film, you really do feel like you get to know everyone. All the characters are very well written. They all have their quiet moments, and, they're played by actors that give them depth in those quiet moments. So it really feels like, well, that you know them. And so that first act, we're getting to know everyone. I am getting to, learn what it's like to be on a cargo ship, to work on a cargo ship. That's, again, something I love about films, is their educational elements and letting me see a world that I don't have any access to. This definitely gives you access to a world that you pretty much know nothing about. And I felt that it was realistic, and I was like, wow, okay, well, I just spent like a day on a cargo ship. I get it. Then, so you got the hijacking, and you got all that drama, but it's still self-contained on the ship. We see all the familiar faces we know, and it's ramping up. The tension is just taut. You can feel relaxed for maybe 40 minutes. This is a 2-hour, 15-minute movie. You're probably at some type of, relaxed for the first half hour, 40 minutes, but then it just kind of cranks it up, and the screws start to turn in your head, and it really just kind of drove me nuts. The tension is palpable for the remainder of the film, in a way, and I'm trying to get to that. So you have the hijacking, everything's just going nuts. Tension is high. You're not sure what's going to happen. You're worried about everyone happening because you suddenly care about all these people. You don't want really anyone to get hurt. And then they kidnap the captain. And so now the movie switches to a smaller boat in a more contained area. And it kind of reboots in a way. After they left the ship and now we're on a smaller lifeboat, I was like, now the tension was gone, and now they're in a whole new scenario, and now I'm just trying to adapt to that. And I was like, why are they, doing that? It was just so tense, and I was so wound up, and now it's just like still again, and all that tension is gone. But yet the whole process just started over. It went back to being still, being uncertain, and then slowly those screws start to tighten, and again it just becomes this exercise in tension, just in a new scenario. And again, it gets to this point where it's, you're not sure what the hell's going to happen. You just feel like everything's just going to pop. And then again, there's another climax. There's the situation that's resolved. Then we're moved to a third situation. And this is for all intents and purposes, the third act. And maybe it would be technically the fourth act. But again, we're moved into another situation. We're getting our bearings again. Again, it slows the film down. But again, just within the last 15 minutes of the film, where we're presented with, again, a new situation, it works the same way, where it's still, we're getting to know, everything that's going on, getting to know some new people. And then maybe it's not the screws tightening, maybe the tension doesn't get harder, but the emotion definitely kicks up. The climax of this film, though it could be seen as there are at least 2, if not 3 climaxes to this film, it's a very emotional one. And the most, Tom Hanks' most powerful acting comes in at the very end of the film, and it just really kind of blew me away. That final scene is what I've been, replaying in my head over these past couple days. Just really tremendous. So again, I'm trying to criticize it by saying, perhaps it was, the tonal shifts are sometimes just too extreme, but then it really, I like the roller coaster feel. I like that manipulation. I like to be manipulated like that. And to have me go up and down and up and down again is, taxing. It makes for kind of an exhausting experience, but you realize that you've just had a taxing, exhausting experience by sitting in the same seat for 2 hours and 15 minutes. So it's, really quite spectacular. And so it just kind of, it's just a great film. It's a great film. I'm trying to think of anything else I have to say about it. It just felt real. It felt like a document. All the acting is tremendous. I think it's very important. Feels very, urgent because it so, perfectly portrays the difference between life in a first world country and life in a third world country, and the similarities and the differences we have, and how the differences we have are pretty much only cultural and due to finances. And if you take away the fact that our cultures are on the other are on differing sides of the planet, and our economies are nothing alike, if you take those away, then you're left with the fact that we're all human, and we're all the same. And I think that it makes does a great job at presenting that point and then driving it home. I fully expect Tom Hanks to be nominated for an Oscar for this. He was just magnificent in it. I can't say enough good things about Tom Hanks in this performance. All the acting tremendous. Good score again. The music goes right along, and perhaps is the primary reason that you're so damn tense all the time. The music is fantastic. Again, it's an apt score. It really affects you well. Goes with the film. well directed. Again, I felt transported to this scenario. It felt totally realistic. The Somali actors, fantastic. Just refreshing to see, again, untrained, raw performers, just showing us what their experience is like in life. I really don't know what else to say. I just thought the film was great. I think it's a must-see. You should definitely see it on the big screen. There's no reason not to. And yeah, so, okay, I think I'm done. One of Tom Hanks's best performances. I think it's Paul Greengrass's best film. Feels like, again, a living history document. Totally thrilling. 2 hours and 15 minutes just zoom right on by. It's just an exercise in tension. It's a roller coaster, and I mean, when you say roller coaster, that's kind of a cliche, but it really is. You're up and you're down, you're left and you're right. So it is, fantastic. It's a fantastic film. So there you go. That's Captain Phillips. I'll stick with a solid 9. And definitely a highlight of the year. All right, thanks much.